SMC Pentax-M macro 100mm f4.
This macro lens was made in Japan between 1977 and 1984 and was part of Pentax-M series. On the front you can see the signature SMC marker, which stands for Super Multi-Coating. That was the 7-layer chemical coating that Pentax applied to all SMC lenses. I found my copy on eBay for $90, which is currently the average price for this lens on the used market. The optical design of this lens consists of 5 elements in 3 groups. It accepts filters with 49mm diameter. Aperture ranges from f4 to f32 with click stops in between. The diaphragm is made of 6 rounded aperture blades. This lens comes in at 353 grams. Focus throw is quite long, approximately 340 degrees. Once fully extended, you will notice that the white line that indicates your magnification ratio stops at number 2, which shows you that you've reached the maximum magnification for this lens, 1:2 or half life size. On the back, this lens has Pentax K mount. I use a cheap Pentax K to Sony adapter in order to use this lens on my Sony camera. Minimum focusing distance from your subject to your film plane or sensor is 45 centimeters. This lens is undoubtedly the best bargain I've come across for a 100mm macro. Even though it was designed in the mid-70s, this lens shines on a full-frame sensor. For all of you who might be concerned with sharpness, this lens will not let you down. It is super sharp even when shot wide open, and by f8 it is exceptionally sharp. Here is a 100% crop of the previous image, with all of its details perfectly preserved even at this magnification. This lens has also no visible distortion or color fringing and is an absolute joy to use. Focusing is very smooth and the long focus throw allows you to be super precise when dialing in your focus. Bokeh, or the out of focus blur, is nice and smooth, especially for a lens that has a maximum aperture of only f4. I'm always surprised by the buttery soft background blur that I can get out of this lens. Just like all Pentax-M lenses, this one is extremely well thought out and its build quality is impeccable. It is quite small and lightweight for a 100mm macro, which makes it super easy to use it handheld. In fact, all the images that you see here have been made without a tripod. And since this is a lens with super multi-coated elements, you can expect excellent color rendition. Even though this lens only gives you 1:2 or half-life size magnification, you can easily make it into a true 1:1 macro by simply getting some extension tubes. For those of you who might be put off by the slow maximum aperture of f4, please remember that after all, this is a macro lens, and when shooting macro you want all the depth of field that you can get. But the great thing about macro lenses is that they're not just meant for shooting bugs, and this one constantly delivers great results in every situation. The fact that you can get 100mm macro lens with such amazing sharpness, great colors, and awesome build quality for under $100 makes this lens an incredible bargain. There are simply no issues that I was able to find with this lens, and I can highly recommend it to anyone looking for a reliable macro lens. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time here at Vintage Optics.